Las Vegas Raiders, New York Jets reaction video. The Raiders Jets reaction. All I can say is wow. The end of that game. When when Carr missed, I think it was Aguilar streaking wide open on that. It looked like a skinny post. Holy smokes! I was just like, oh gosh, everybody's got to go crazy. Then the very next play, are you kidding me? I think it was Ruggs wide open on the other side of the field. I mean, first of all, part of that schematic, so you got to give credit to the coaching staff, the play design, and all that to get one-on-one coverage on one play. The other one, I think it was a blown assignment by the safety on the other play, the first one that they missed. But how the Raiders got by with a win there. Ooh, man, maybe this is just kind of the meant to be type of thing. But let me say this. And by the way, Jets fans, I got to imagine you're breathing a sigh of relief right now. Like, Adam Gase has completely screwed you for the last couple of years here. The worst thing Adam Gase could do right now is win games and get you out of the first overall pick. So that's a good loss for the New York Jets. Thank goodness if you're a Jets fan. That's the way I would feel if I was a Jets fan. Raiders, thank goodness if you're a Raiders fan. I want to get to the statistics real quick, and then I'm going to get to the schedule because I want to talk about the Raiders. To me, this was a must-win game this week, so I was kind of sweating on behalf of Raiders fans out there. But Derek Carr, let me say this. The Jets came out. The Raiders didn't look great, and you got to credit the Jets. I always give some credit to the other teams, the ones that are putting the hurt on some teams. But unlike last week, the Raiders came back. They showed some character at the end of the first half, and they came back and they won. I didn't like that the Jets scored. I think it was a late touchdown for them to go up by 4 points there, but the Raiders answered. They came back. They got it done. A win is a win. I believe they are now 7-5. Good for the Raiders. Derek Carr goes 28 of 47, 381, and 3 touchdowns. Huge. Then he adds another touchdown running on the ground. So a big day statistically for Carr when they needed it for him. I was critical of him last week for fumbling the ball on a lot of those sacks. You got to hold. You got to feel the pressure and hold on to the ball. This week he rebounded, so good for him. No Josh Jacobs. That was a big one too. So I figured that Devontae Booker was going to get a lot of volume. I figured the Raiders would still try to be aggressive with the run game, but they really put it on Carr's shoulders, and he showed up. That's a big deal. That's a big deal for growth for this team too. It's a big deal, as you progress into the season, for confidence for this team. Very good deal there. Darren Waller, dominant, 13 receptions on 17 targets, 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. What a monster. The Jets had no answer for him. They interfered with him. He would have gotten another touchdown too. They interfered with him on the last drive, actually second to last drive. That was the drive, by the way, that the Raiders turned the ball over on down. So it's the second to last drive. Interfered with. I believe Hunter Renfrow also would have had a touchdown, a little rub route to the out. He got held. He was wide open, had nothing but green pasture in front of him. That would have been a touchdown for him, again, on that second to last drive. Speaking of Renfrow, 6 targets, 4 catches, 47 yards. Ruggs, 4 targets, 3 catches, 84 yards in that touchdown, that huge touchdown. Aguilar, 11 targets, 4 receptions, 38 yards. So you're looking at 11 targets to 4 receptions. Credit the New York Jets secondary there. Although Aguilar was wide open at the play before the play that won it for them. And then, by the way, the Raiders blowing that kick. What was it, a squib kick that got defensed? And basically all you have to do there is the short pooch in the middle of the field, kicking it on the ground. When I say short pooch, I mean try to land the ball, pop it up in the air, land it at like the 30-yard line or something like that, so your coverage team is down there. But, that didn't really work out so well, did it? Just try to hit that squibber through the line, and the Jets got on it. That was pathetic. It was also kind of pathetic that on that last Hail Mary play, Darnold, the pocket collapsed on him. He couldn't even heave the ball into the end zone. I think that ball was short anyway. And by the way, unlike what we've seen from the Buffalo Bills in recent weeks, what did the Raiders do? Aggressively knock the ball down. That's all you have to do in that scenario. So great job, great win for the Raiders to basically not only keep alive, but that was a must win, and I'll tell you why. If I look at the schedule to close out the year for the Raiders, they're 7-5. Look, I've looked at the Titans and the Colts, their schedules. The Titans fall to 8-4 today. Okay, whatever. The Titans have games against the Jaguars, the Lions, and the Texans. They have a game on the road against Green Bay. If you're talking about favorites, they are favored to win 3. They would be favored to be 11-5 in that stretch. Now, let's say the Colts, they're also 8-4 at this point after their win today. Their closing stretch, they play the Raiders next week. I'm teasing that because I'm going to talk about that in just a bit. They play the Texans, they play the Jaguars, and they're on the road against the Steelers. If you're talking about favorites there, let's take the Raiders game out of it for now. The last 3 weeks of the season, they should go 2-1. At worst, for the Indianapolis Colts, they will go 10-6. I believe that's enough to get them in. You look at the Miami Dolphins, who won today against Cincinnati. They are now 8-4 So they're a game ahead in the standings, but look how they closed the season. They're at home against the Chiefs. They're going to lose that game. They would go to 8-6. I'm sorry, 8-5 there. Then they're hosting the New England Patriots. My gut's telling me that the Patriots are going to win that game. I think they'll fall to 8-7. Then they play the Raiders, a showdown. The Raiders, with the two teams they're competing for in the wild card, or at least two of some of the teams they play them, and of course they have the win against the Cleveland Browns. If that turns into be the case there, so I think the Miami Dolphins are going to falter. The Raiders at this point in my mind are competing for the 7 seed. The game against the Indianapolis Colts next week, if they win that game, they're looking very good for the playoffs, because after that, they host the Los Angeles Chargers. They should win that game, although division games are always dicey. Then they host the Miami Dolphins in Week 16. That could be a play-in game for the 7th seed. And then they are on the road to finish the season against the Denver Broncos. I believe the Raiders are going to be favored in at least 2 of those games. Let's give them a 9-5 record, depending on what happens with the Colts game. If they win this game against the Colts, they are so well positioned. I'm not sure if Josh Jacobs is going to be back. Comment below. Why don't you let me know what your thoughts were? I thought there was a chance he was going to play. But then again, when I talked and did the reaction last week, it looked like the injury was bad, that he was going to miss some time. We'll see if he's back. But the Colts and the Dolphins games, look, if they win those games, they're going to be in the playoffs. I believe if they win the Colts game next week, they're in. But I'm expecting them, sorry, Raider Nation, I'm kind of expecting them to lose that game. Again, schematically, the way these two teams match up and play each other, I believe that's a good matchup for the Colts to kind of shut down some of the stuff that the Raiders want to do. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, Raider Nation. Comment below, tell me why I'll be wrong. But I believe the Raiders lose that game, and I think the Raiders win the last 3 weeks of the season. I believe the Raiders now finish 10-6, and I think they're going to make the playoff. I think that that head-to-head tiebreaker versus the Miami Dolphins is going to be everything, and I do give the edge to the Las Vegas Raiders based on how these two teams are playing right now. So things are looking good. Huge win today. If they lost this game, I would have probably given the playoff game next week would have been a must-win game. At least now it's not. That's my takeaway there. So Raiders, great job, great takeaway. Let me look at the New York Jets statistics before I close things out here. Darnold goes 14-23 passing, 186 and 2 touchdowns. Ty Johnson, after I believe one of the running backs, was it Frank Gore? He had the concussion or something. He was out. Ty Johnson looked great. 22 carries, 104 yards, 1 touchdown. Ty Johnson looked good, by the way, if you're a fantasy player. He looked good for Detroit before Detroit kind of jettisoned him. Ty Johnson, all this guy needs is an opportunity. He's probably the best running back on this New York Jets roster. No disrespect to the other guys that are ahead of him on the depth chart, but I just believe that strongly in Ty Johnson. He's legit. Jamison Crowder gets you 2 touchdowns, 2 short touchdowns early in the first half there. Denzel Mims, 2 catches, 40 yards. Braxton Berrios, 2 catches, 33 yards. I mean, the passing game just wasn't a factor. It was the running game. But at the end of the day, the Raiders win, and that's all that matters for the Raiders fans. And Jets, hey, good loss, because you still have the number 1 pick in the draft, and Gase is definitely going to be fired, and that's what you want to happen. So there you go. There's my reaction video. Please like, comment, subscribe. We'll check in on another reaction video soon.